Got it.
Hey, Coach. After or during the Omaha series, you said that you guys were playing well, but it was the mental mistakes that were really contributing to you guys not necessarily winning games. You guys obviously went and swept Denver, so I'm kind of curious how you saw that kind of progress from last weekend to this.
Yeah, I think we just managed the puck really well this weekend. At the end of the day, we're obviously very excited about the results that we got against a very good program, but we didn't play any differently than we have in the last month. Like it was a carbon copy. We finally got the results, right? So I'm proud of our guys because they've stuck with it. But we have been playing by and large the best hockey structurally, in almost every way since we've been a program. But just weren't getting the results, and we did this weekend, and it feels good. Happy for our guys.
Gabby Chernoff, Sun Devil Source. Within that big weekend, you got your 300th win. How all-encompassing is that for you to get that win and have it be your 300th career win?
Yeah, I had no idea. Corby, our equipment manager, gave me the puck after the game, and I had no idea. That's the honest to God truth. So that's a combination of ACHA and NCAA, and there's probably people that want to criticize the combination. But to me personally, every single one means the same. The kids at that level meant just as much to me as the kids at this level. And what you go through, as a program, doesn't matter what level it is. It's all about, at the institution. And it's been special every step of the way. And, while I'm aging and I don't have any hair left, hopefully there's 300 more in me.
Hey, Coach, Parker Bay, Inferno Intel, obviously the sweep over Denver, the reigning national champions, #1 ranked team in the country. Can you kind of talk about the landmark this is for this program now in the NCHC, a big series win over them?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, sizzle to the weekend we just had. The unanimous #1, 21-game win streak Denver had, defending national champs. I don't think they've been swept since pre-COVID at Magnus, so there's a lot of significance, right? And what I told our guys was look, this can be a benchmark sweep, but it's all going to depend on what we do with it, right? Do we want to be a team that looks at this weekend and at the end of the year talks about a sweep we had at #1 Denver, or do we want to be a team that actually uses it and makes something about it, right? So that's going to be the challenge moving forward is, obviously being proud of what we did. It's very tough to do. Not many teams have done it. But it's what have you done for me lately? And that's the way this world works, unfortunately. But we have to parlay these 2 wins into something special. And I'm not just saying this. The results that we achieved this past weekend, there's not a guy in our room that was surprised by them. Like, we know what we're capable of. We have a really, really good hockey team that's been insanely banged up. That's the healthiest we've been all year. And boy, when we get Lucius back, it's going to be a lot of fun.
You mentioned Lucius. Schlane was out the first part of the season as well and then had a monster weekend this weekend. Does that make you more excited or have more anticipation surrounding the return of Cruz Lucius?
Yeah. I mean, already the roster was built for those two to be key pieces, right? And Schlaner was out the first 6 games, and then really his first 2 to 4 back, he hadn't practiced, so he wasn't fully back, right? So now he is, and you see how good that kid is, and Cruz is even more dangerous. So we got to get through 2 more games again. We got an off week this week to heal up some bumps and bruises, and we got to finish strong. And when we get a full roster back, I would not want to play us.
Hey, Coach, Jake Sloan, Devil's Digest. You've talked all year and even before this year how hard it is to get a sweep on the road against a #1 team like this. What does that do for the overall buy-in of these players with a lot of new guys coming in this year?
Yeah, I think we had a group that's completely bought in prior to these results, but I think that it just proves that if you stay bought in, you stay process-oriented and focused, and you hear coaches talk about it all the time. Kenny talks about it all the time. Process, right? It pays off. You can't stray. And you could feel that this weekend. Every kid in that room, every player on that bench did everything they had to do to get out of there with success against a really, really, really good team, and it felt really good.
Chris Carbon, son of a source. Greg, do you remember a time in your career when the results felt as disconnected from what you were seeing in the play of the guys? And how did that feel going through that? And what did you share with the team about that?
Yeah, no, it absolutely not. Like we have, I've been here a long time, and since the second game at Providence, starting at that game, we've never played better hockey. We've never played better structural hockey, more connected hockey. You look at analytics, all that stuff. We were playing really well. We just weren't scoring, and so you have to tweak some things and get guys going to the net, and not every goal can be a highlight reel goal. Not every goal can, be a snipe. It's got to get ugly. You got to get dirty. You got to get the blue paint. So we really focused on that, and it started to click against Omaha, and it really clicked this weekend. So it was, again, just stick with it, believe in our process, believe in each other, understand that up until this past weekend, anywhere from 3 to 4 of our top 6 forwards were out every game. So when you have that skill out, you're gonna probably struggle to score a little bit. And we ran into some unbelievable goaltending. I think before this weekend, if you discount the first 8-1 win at Air Force, the opponent's save percentage was about a .96, which is crazy. So you just have to stick with it, and believe in what we have, and our guys did. Credit to them, understanding we could go up to Denver and win the first night and pretty much clean the slate. And then the message was, hey, that's a benchmark win. Let's make it a benchmark sweep, because if we get to the slate's completely clean. I think we went from high 30s in the pairwise to 18, like that. So we're right there. And we go get 2 against Duluth and take care of home ice. Boy, we're going to the break feeling really, really good.
So did that make the feeling of those wins like that much greater?
Yeah, it did. It was really fulfilling for a lot of reasons. It wasn't because they were defending national champs and on a 21-game heater and looking pretty much unbeatable. That's all nice stuff. But I think just not straying from what we were preaching and what we were doing really for the last month, and just not getting the results. We did not play any different, at all. We were just as good against Providence. We were just as good in the loss, maybe even better against Omaha. We were just as good at Colorado College. We just weren't getting the results. So, you look at our schedule, it's been absolute murderer's row. I think today we played half of the top 10 already through a third of our season. So we're weathered. We're weathered with guys that were banged up, with some studs that have been out. Now we're getting healthy. Our confidence is there, and I wish we played this weekend.
Coach Michael Caratunio, Pitchfork Lunch. I was just going to ask you that. I know getting healthy and getting a week off is always good, but with the way like you said, you've been playing, people that watch have seen, and getting these wins. You'd obviously rather be playing this weekend.
Yeah, I think if in a perfect world, we'd love to be playing this weekend, but we have to use it to our advantage. It's going to be a great development week. Guys are going to go home for Thanksgiving. I don't know if we've ever had a Thanksgiving off, to be honest. So my wife's happy about that. But we have our last 2 games against Duluth, next weekend, and then they get to go home for 10 to 12 days, which as an independent we've never done. They usually always stay here because we have to play deep into December and then right away at the end of December. So there's just not enough time for them to go home. So they're excited about being able to go home and spend Christmas with their families. And the focus now is just 2 games left. We're right back in the hunt in a major way. We wake up today in second place in the NCHC, and we got to continue to get points.
And then when you talk about, obviously, the guys that have been banged up, and you said even in the beginning of the season, the depth and maybe young guys, but how do you just feel that they've stepped up, but their development has been with those guys out?
Yeah, a lot of guys have been given opportunities in roles that when you're completely healthy, they otherwise would not got. And so I think it's just building confidence in young players that have really gotten a lot of opportunity and done really, really well with it. I mean, you look like even like a Kyle Smolin, who's a sophomore, and he's played up and down the lineup on power plays, and he's third on our team in points. So just building up a player like that's confidence and knowing that he's capable of playing really anywhere in our lineup, any wing, down the middle, wherever we put him, and have him be successful has been good. So we've made the most of it. Again, we're now healthier than we've been all season. We were last weekend, and 2 more games, and we get one of the most dynamic, if not the most dynamic players that have ever put on our jersey in Cruz Lucius. So we're excited to get him back, and he's really chomping at the bit to get back.
Ben Paris, Blaze Radio. I think Tucker Ness is probably another one of those guys you just alluded to that have been different spots in the lineup. He's had to play forward. He was on the line chart as the extra defenseman in both the games in Denver, but saw a ton of time on the ice. How would you describe just the level that he's playing at right now and how he fits in anywhere in the lineup?
He gives us something that nobody else does. In a lot of it are intangibles that you guys don't see. It's bench energy, it's energy in the room. He's an unbelievable teammate. He'll just do whatever is asked. He can play up. He's obviously a defenseman by trade, and he just takes up space. He's physical. He's really good in the kill. That's where he gives us the most benefit, is his ability to penalty kill. But he's a guy you have on the ice when you need to shut it down and take up some space, and he's heavy. So he gives us something that I don't think anyone else does, and I'm happy for him because he's really earned it. He didn't play a lot his freshman year, played sparingly last year, was out of the lineup, I think, the first 4 games this year, and he's just found his way. He's found his way. He makes, that's what I tell every kid, make me lose sleep over putting the lineup together, and I do. And he does a good job of that because he does everything the right way.
And then another one of those lineup pieces. Luke started 4 in a row. What's your philosophy at this point in the season in terms of splitting up time in the net, or is it, he's played 4 pretty good games in a row? Is it his net right now?
Right now it is. I think it's fair to say that he's earned that, and he gives a nice, calming veteran presence. He makes the saves that he should make, and that's what you want out of your goaltender. If you can make all the saves you're supposed to make, then mix in maybe a few that you're not supposed to make, you have something. And that's what he's doing. He just has a nice, calming presence. Gibby is a hell of a goalie. He'll be back. He had a couple. His numbers are pretty good, but he had a couple of starts that I think he would want back, and you'll see him again. But Luke's done a great job. I'm happy for that kid.
Coach Shortenham, Sports 360 AZ. I know it's tough to kind of look big picture during the season, but when you look back on the 300 wins, the facility you're in now, how did your time in those early years at Oceanside help lay the foundation for this program?
Yeah, I think that's a loaded question. There's a lot of things I could say. It goes back to just not straying from what has brought us success, and that's a blue collar mentality. Now we have the resources of Mullet Arena. We have the support of an unbelievable institution that we didn't have back in the day when we were not varsity. We're in the best conference in college hockey. We have everything we need, and now it's chapter 2 banner hanging mode, and chapter 1's behind us, and we'll never forget it. But we never want to lose what got us here, and that's just the blue collar mindset. And while it's nice to walk into Mullet every day, and I still pinch myself, you can't lose what got you here, and the base of the foundation that we believe in, and that's just good, hard-working blue-collar kids.
What do you miss about Oceanside?
Nothing. I miss the asbestos falling from the ceiling when the puck hits it, and having to scoop it off the ice. No, it was. I don't miss anything. Yeah, that's the honest answer.
Hey, Coach. Fletcher Anderson, Cronkite News. When you're at a program that feels like it's kind of on fire right now, not just you, but obviously Sun Devil volleyball, Sun Devil football, even basketball.
Yeah.
How awesome is it to have this, as Kenny says, Valley activated?
It's incredible. I mean, you look at everything that's happening right now in Sun Devil athletics, and it's something that everyone that's been here for a long time, whether it's a fan, whether it's a supporter, whether it's a coach, whether it's a professor, everybody's always said this place can be special, but for whatever reason, the collective whole has never seemed to really do anything and everything that it takes in order for it to get there. And now I think we actually have that. I think we have that. We have a football coach who's not a mercenary. And I think when you have that, everything trickles downhill. And I'm not saying our last coach was or the coach before him was, but it's always about, in the past, whether it's an AD or a football coach, a lot of people that have been here have used this as a stepping stone. And I don't believe that Graham Rossini thinks this is a stepping stone. I think this is his dream job. This is his end-all, be-all. Kenny Dillingham does not view this as a stepping stone job. This is his dream job, just like this is my dream job. You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to go coach anywhere else. This is where I want to be. I love this institution. I love this place. And now we have so many people, not just those two, to feel the exact same way about Arizona State. And when you have that, that's what activates the Valley. That's what people want. They want passion. They want people that love what they do, love who they do it with, and love who they do it for. And we have that here now. And it's fun to be a part of, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
You said in your opening press conference for this season that your realistic expectations were to host a playoff series. Prior to this weekend, did those expectations dwindle at all? And if so, how do they look now?
They look great now. I mean, you got to be in the top four, and no, they didn't. It was the message from the start of conference play, and it will continue to be the message until the end, is all about standings. We're not looking at the pairwise. We don't have to look at the pairwise anymore, because if you can host a playoff series in the NCHC, you're probably getting into the tournament, right? So that takes care of itself. We want to give our fans at Mullen Arena playoff hockey. That's our goal, and today we wake up in a position to do that, and we have to continue to focus on that goal and only that goal.
And then, obviously film plays a big part when you're going into these big series, but David Carl shouted that out specifically. He said it was very evident what you guys watched and that you were able to pick kind of things apart that they found success in earlier in the season based on your film. So what did you see prior to this weekend that you were really able to kind of shut down their success in?
Well, I think it all starts about staying above pucks. That was the theme all week, and it's something we have to do the rest of the season. When you can stay above pucks and you don't give teams transition, especially skilled, fast teams like Denver, and you make them earn what they get by ozone play and getting to the inside when there's 10 guys in a zone, you're going to give yourselves a chance. So they didn't get much off of transition. Our guys did a great job staying above pucks, slowing them down. And we felt all week, like anyone that asked me, hey, how do you feel? I said, I feel good. I think we're going to go up and get one. I do. And I really did. And I don't think that another coach on our staff or a player in our room didn't think that we would either. And we went up and had success. So we've liked our game plan going into it. We really went above and beyond to prepare for them because we knew what it could do for our season. And our guys executed. And it's a credit to them.
Coach, a little earlier you talked about the team's willingness to kind of go for those gritty goals over the past couple of weeks. It looked like that was evident on the power play, especially this past weekend. How have you kind of seen that power play grow across the season? Yeah,
it got us a big goal Saturday. It looked really good Friday. It didn't get any results, but it's just keeping the power play upbeat, and a good power play in our game fails 80% of the time. So it's a pretty large fail rate, right? So it's you want your power play to get you momentum, and you want it to get you next shift energy, and it's done that, and I think it'll start scoring a little bit more now.
You talk about not having to look at the pairwise anymore, and it feels like, at least as an independent, the program was defined a lot by the teams they beat. People remember, the Minnesota game, the North Dakota game, whatever. Do you think that just joining the conference simply changes that, or is it just time might change that? Because when you look at the team you beat this weekend, people aren't talking about the teams that they beat every week.
Yeah. Well, it just goes along with being a new program, man. We're still, in our 9th full season. So when you do some of the things that we've done, that's the people are going to talk about it. I mean, we've beaten Minnesota, we've beaten BC, we've beaten BU, we've beaten Michigan, we've beaten Michigan State, we've beaten Denver, we've beaten everybody. We've beaten everybody. So, if people want to continue to talk about that, that's great. But we've turned the page on that mentality, and we expect to win every time we put on our jersey. And we expect to be in NCAA tournaments. And we expect to compete at a very high level in the best conference in college hockey, and we are.
Coach, you talked about Coach, you touched on Kyle Smollen's versatility, but his two line mates and Artem Schlane and Ryan Alexander, what role has that line played in your recent success?
Yeah, they've been incredible. I mean, they're scoring goals, but they're playing downhill. They're executing how we want to play, especially in the O-zone with spacing and different intricacies that we're really trying to focus on. But they're just bought in. They're bought in, and they're a line right now that has 3 natural centers on it. So they're really defensively responsible. Right now, I can't get them enough ice time. They've been great.
Greg, playing Denver or Colorado College, how have you felt like your talent level has compared? Winning 2 games, I'm assuming, positively. And what does that say just about this being your first year in the conference and what's possible for the future?
Yeah, I think it's indicative, for our fans to see. Those are 2 very good teams, and we're right there. We're obviously right there. Do I think we have the depth of talent that Denver does? Not yet, but we're pretty close. And this is year 1, So what we have committed and what's coming in, it's just going to go like this, But you commit kids in our sport 2, 3, 4 years in advance for when they show up on campus. But every year, people can expect a more talented and more talented and more talented roster. They have the resources of Mullet. They have the league. They have this incredible institution. We have everything we need, and it's really showing in our recruiting, and you'll continue to see it.
Coach, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but obviously NCHC first season, and they're obviously adding St. Thomas next year. Have you seen anything that program has done, also being a newer Division I as well, that has impressed you?
Yeah, I think they're 2 completely different builds. I mean, they had a conference from day one, CCHA, that they're leaving. They're in kind of a blue blood market in Minneapolis with access to a state full of elite level players that they can go get to play in their backyard. Rico Blase is a good friend of mine. Obviously did an unbelievable job at Miami, and they're going to have a beautiful arena in a year. So I think a little bit different builds, but we're excited to have them. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with in every way, and they're going to be a really good addition to our league. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.